What happens when a smart electric vehicle costs only a fraction of the average new car in the United States? For Detroit, this is no longer just a question about foreign competition. It is a question about whether the entire pricing structure of the American auto market can survive the next wave of global competition. For years, the US car market has been moving in an uncomfortable direction. Vehicles have become larger, more expensive, and increasingly dependent on financing. For many families, buying a new car is no longer a normal household purchase. It has become a long-term financial burden. That is why Chinese cars are attracting so much attention. They are not only cheaper, they are also improving quickly in design, battery technology, software, smart cockpits, driver assistance features, and overall product quality. For now, Chinese automakers face high tariffs, regulatory barriers, and political scrutiny in the United States. But the real question is whether those barriers can permanently change consumer behavior. If a vehicle offers a lower price, strong range, modern technology, a comfortable interior, and competitive safety features, how long can consumers be told not to care? That is the problem Detroit cannot ignore. The average price of a new car in the United States has remained extremely high. For many buyers, monthly auto payments have become a major source of financial pressure. Some households that once entered the new car market with confidence are now delaying purchases, switching to used cars, or leaving the market entirely. This creates an opening. When consumers feel priced out of the market, they become more willing to consider alternatives. And Chinese automakers are becoming experts at building those alternatives. Companies such as BYD, Geely, and Chery have expanded aggressively outside China. In markets like Mexico, their presence is becoming more visible. Dealer signs, showrooms, advertisements, and real vehicles on the road are introducing local consumers to Chinese brands that many Americans still cannot directly buy. Mexico matters because it sits at the edge of the US market. It is both a major manufacturing hub and a key part of the North American auto supply chain. It is also close enough for US consumers, analysts, and automakers to see what Chinese brands are offering. In that sense, Chinese cars do not need to be fully present in the US market to influence the American debate. They only need to be visible nearby. Once consumers can compare prices, conversation changes. In the United States, many buyers are facing high prices for basic transportation. Across the border, Chinese brands are offering compact cars, hybrids, and electric vehicles at much lower price points. Models from BYD, Geely, Chery, and other manufacturers are showing that a modern vehicle does not always need to carry a premium American price tag. This comparison is difficult to hide. Governments can raise tariffs. Regulators can restrict imports. Lawmakers can investigate data security risks in connected vehicles. Domestic industries can ask for protection. But none of that removes the basic question from consumers' minds. Why should a smart vehicle cost so much more in the United States? This is not just a trade dispute. It is a competition over efficiency, cost structure, and industrial organization. For decades, Detroit developed a profitable model around larger vehicles, pickup trucks, SUVs, and high-margin products. Financing helped consumers stretch payments over time. Brand, loyalty, dealer networks, and limited competition protected pricing power. But the electric vehicle era is changing the rules. The most important parts of vehicle competition are no longer only engines, transmissions, and mechanical engineering. They increasingly include batteries, software, electrical architecture, sensors, infotainment systems, supply chain integration, and manufacturing speed. China has built major advantages in many of these areas. It has the world's largest EV market, a deeply developed battery supply chain, intense domestic competition, and a customer base that demands fast product updates. Chinese automakers are forced to compete aggressively on price, features, and speed. If they move slowly, they lose market share quickly. That pressure has created a new generation of exporters. Chinese cars are no longer just cheap. Increasingly, they are cheap without feeling low-end. That is what makes the challenge more serious. If Chinese vehicles were simply low cost and low quality, Detroit could defend itself with brand reputation, safety, reliability, and premium positioning. But if Chinese brands combine lower prices with modern design, advanced software, strong battery performance, and good user experience, the traditional defense becomes weaker. Ford CEO Jim Farley has publicly acknowledged the strength of Chinese EV competition. His comments about Chinese vehicles reflect a broader reality. Senior executives at traditional automakers no longer view Chinese brands as a distant or minor threat. They see them as real industrial competitors. Xiaomi SU7 is a good example of why the perception is changing. It is not just another electric car. It represents the convergence of consumer electronics, software ecosystems, smart hardware, and vehicle manufacturing. For traditional automakers, that is a major shift. Their competitors may no longer come only from car companies. They may come from technology companies, platform companies, and supply chain ecosystems. This puts the US auto industry under two kinds of pressure. Chinese automakers are attacking from the cost and supply chain side. Technology companies are attacking from the user experience side. The car is becoming a smart device on wheels. And Chinese companies have shown that they can move very quickly when hardware, software, and manufacturing are integrated. The US response has been predictable. Tariffs, restrictions, and regulatory barriers are being used to slow down the entry of Chinese vehicles. That is not surprising. The auto industry is tied to jobs, unions, manufacturing capacity, regional economies, suppliers, and national security narratives. No major economy wants to see its domestic auto industry disrupted overnight by lower-cost foreign competitors. But protection can only buy time. It does not automatically create competitiveness. If domestic automakers cannot respond with better pricing, stronger technology, and more attractive products, high tariffs may simply push more costs onto consumers. In that case, policy protects the existing industry structure, but not necessarily the buyer. That is the deeper issue in the global auto market. The competition will not only take place inside the United States. It will take place in Mexico, Brazil, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and other emerging markets. Chinese automakers are learning how to build global sales channels, local partnerships, after-sales networks, financing options, and overseas production bases. They are not relying on one route to market. They are adapting to different tariff systems, policy environments, and consumer segments. Mexico is especially important because it is deeply connected to North American manufacturing. If Chinese automakers build stronger production, distribution, or brand platforms in Mexico, competitive pressure on the US market will become more complex. Even if direct imports remain difficult, the psychological impact will still be real. This does not mean Chinese automakers can easily enter the United States. They would face strict safety standards, compliance rules, data security reviews, political resistance, dealer challenges, and high tariffs. Building consumer trust in the US would also take time. Brand awareness is not built overnight, and after-sales service is essential in the auto business. But consumer demand does not disappear because of regulation. If US vehicle prices remain high while Chinese cars continue to improve in other markets, American consumers will become more aware that another price level exists. That awareness can be powerful. It pressures Detroit to choose. One path is to reduce costs, improve efficiency, and build truly affordable smart EVs. The other path is to rely on policy protection, high-margin vehicles, and a customer base that is already under financial pressure. From a business perspective, the Chinese EV challenge is not only about market entry. It is about the repricing of the global auto value chain. In the old model, brand premiums, dealer control, financing structures, and limited alternatives supported high vehicle prices. In the new model, battery scale, software platforms, supply chain efficiency, and manufacturing speed are changing what consumers believe a car should cost. That may be the most important shift. Once consumers form a new price expectation, traditional profit models become harder to defend. Chinese cars do not need to dominate US roads immediately to affect Detroit. They only need to show the world that similar or better technology can be sold at a lower price. The real question is not only when Chinese vehicles will arrive on American roads. The real question is when American consumers will stop accepting the old pricing system. When that happens, the competition has already begun. Chinese automakers still face serious challenges. They need global brand trust, durable quality records, reliable after-sales service, data compliance, political risk management, currency stability, and local market knowledge. Any of these factors can slow their global expansion, but they also have clear strengths: cost control, product speed, battery supply chains, smart features, and the scales of China's EV industry. This race will not be decided by slogans. It will not be decided by tariffs alone. It will be decided by consumer wallets, product experience, and industrial efficiency. If Detroit cannot deliver more affordable and more competitive smart vehicles, then even if Chinese cars remain outside the US market for now, American consumers will know something important. They will know that another option exists. And once consumers know that better pricing is possible, it becomes very difficult for any market to return to the old normal.